Welcome to my channel Value Old Coins. In this video, we're going to explore three rare and valuable Mercury dimes, the 1918S, 1928, and 1935D editions. These coins might look small, but their hidden value could surprise you. Some examples have sold for thousands of dollars, depending on their mint marks, condition, and silver content. We'll talk about their full history, design details, silver composition, rarity, collector value, and auction records. Everything you need to know before you ever think of spending one. So let's get started. The 1974D United States quarter dollar, often referred to simply as a 1974D Washington quarter, represents an important example of mid-20th century American coinage that blended historic design with modern minting efficiency. The obverse of the coin features the bold and dignified profile of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan in 1932 to mark the bicentennial of Washington's birth. Surrounding his bust are the inscriptions "Liberty" across the upper rim, the national motto "In God We Trust" placed to the left of Washington's neck, and the date 1974 centered beneath. Just behind the ribbon tying his hair appears a small mint mark D, identifying the Denver Mint, which struck hundreds of millions of these coins to circulation that year. The reverse side of the 1974D quarter continues Flanagan's classic eagle motif. A majestic American bald eagle stands proudly with wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows symbolizing national defense, while an olive branch rests below to represent peace. The upper legend reads, "United States of America." The motto "E Pluribus Unum," Latin for "out of many, one," is placed between the eagle's wings, and the denomination quarter dollar curves along the bottom rim. Together, the design's artistry and mottos embody the nation's values of liberty, unity, and resilience. During 1974, the United States Mint was still operating under the modern copper-nickel-clad coinage standard that had replaced 90% silver issues after 1964. The 1974D quarter was struck on planchets consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to an inner core of pure copper. This composition gives the coin its familiar silvery gray surface with a reddish edge where the copper core is visible. Each quarter weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and features a finely reeded edge with 119 reeds. The Denver Mint produced approximately 353 million coins in 1974, ensuring ample supply for circulation throughout the United States. This immense mintage means that the 1974D quarter remains common in pocket change today, but individual pieces can still capture the interest of collectors when found in pristine, uncirculated condition or with unusual mint errors. The historical setting of the 1974D Washington quarter adds depth to its story. The early 1970s were years of economic transition in America, marked by inflation, fluctuating metal prices, and efforts by the U.S. Treasury to maintain a stable coin supply. The Mint's adoption of efficient high-speed presses and improved die engraving technology produced sharper details and more consistent strikes. The Washington quarter of this period bridged two eras. It retained the classic imagery of national identity from the Great Depression's commemorative origins while representing the modern industrial minting of the late 20th century. The Denver Mint, in particular, was renowned for the strength and precision of its strikes, and many 1974D quarters exhibit crisp details in Washington's hair, sharp lettering, and well-defined feathers on the eagle, hallmarks of a quality strike that appeal to numismatists. From a collector's perspective, the 1974D quarter presents several areas of interest. In circulated grades, its market value usually remains at face value, 25 cents, because of the high mintage. However, uncirculated examples graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC can bring $5 to $15, depending on eye appeal and luster. Superb gem examples in MS67 condition are considerably scarcer and may sell for $100 or more, as coins of that level display virtually flawless surfaces and brilliant mint frost. Collectors also pursue varieties and mint errors. Documented 1974D quarter errors include off-center strikes, double die obverses, clipped planchets, and broad strikes where the rim is missing due to improper color alignment. Dramatic examples of these errors can reach prices from $50 to several $100s, especially if the date and mint mark remain visible. Another fascinating collectible is a struck-through grease error, where part of Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers appear faint or missing because minting debris partially blocked the die, an intriguing glimpse into real-time mint mechanics. The 1974 D proof-like finish coins are not official proofs, since Denver did not strike proof coins, but certain early die uncirculated pieces can show semi-proof-like surfaces, brilliant mirrored fields, and frosty relief caused by fresh dyes and clean planchets. These are particularly attractive to specialized collectors who appreciate the combination of industrial precision and accidental artistry. The year 1974 also witnessed experimental work at the Mint on new metallic alloys for potential future coins, though these experiments did not affect the quarter's production. The classic copper-nickel clad remained the standard. Thus, the 1974 D issue stands as one of the final Washington quarters before the major design and commemorative transitions that would follow in the coming decades. Culturally, the 1974 D Washington quarter serves as a miniature time capsule from an era when American coinage emphasized stability and tradition amid a changing economy. It circulated widely through the 1970s, 1980s, and beyond, passing through millions of hands, from payphones and jukeboxes to the pockets of everyday citizens. Each surviving specimen carries a silent record of those years, when coins were still tangible links between commerce and national heritage. The durability of its copper-nickel alloy ensured that many 1974 D quarters remain in use today, more than half a century later, a testament to both the Mint's engineering and the public's enduring trust in its coinage. In summary, the 1974 D United States of America PLURIBUS UNUM $quarter, Liberty, in God we trust, is far more than a common piece of change. It embodies the artistry of John Flanagan's classic design, the industrial might of the Denver Mint, and the symbolic strength of a nation that values freedom, unity, and perseverance. Though abundant in number, every 1974 D quarter carries the spirit of the era and the legacy of nearly half a century of Washington's presence on American coinage. For collectors, historians, and ordinary Americans alike, it remains a durable reminder of the country's ideals struck in metal, linking the everyday act of spending a coin to the greater story of the United States itself. The 1978 United States $quarter, known as the 1978 Washington quarter, stands as one of the final examples of the pre-statehood Washington quarters that carried the classic eagle reverse design before the state quarters era began in 1999. The coin proudly bears the inscription United States of America at the top and the traditional Latin motto E Pluribus Unum beneath the spread wings of a majestic bald eagle. The denomination $quarter is displayed along the lower rim, asserting its face value. On the obverse side, the familiar bust of George Washington, the first president of the United States and a central figure in American independence, faces left with liberty boldly inscribed across the top. To the left of Washington's chin, the phrase "In God We Trust" is engraved, reflecting America's national faith. The year 1978 is found directly below the portrait. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, this coin's obverse design dates back to 1932, created to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth, and has since become one of the longest-running designs in American coinage history. In 1978, quarters were minted at two major U.S. mint facilities for circulation: the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked with a small D located to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 521,452,000 quarters, while the Denver Mint struck around 287,373,000, totaling over 808 million pieces, making it a high mintage year. The San Francisco Mint issued 3,127,000 proof coins, distinguished by their mirror-like fields and frosted designs, intended exclusively for collectors. The composition of the 1978 quarter was a standard copper-nickel clad composition introduced in 1965 when silver was removed from circulating coins due to rising metal costs. This modern composition consists of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, bonded in layers with a pure copper core. The coin has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge with 119 fine grooves. The copper core, visible on the edge, provides an orange-brown hue that distinguishes clad coins from older 90% silver issues minted before 1965. The design symbolism of the 1978 Washington quarter captures the spirit of American pride and unity. The obverse portrait of George Washington, based on a 1786 bust by French sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon, reflects both the dignity and resolve of America's founding generation. On the reverse, the bald eagle, America's national bird, perches atop a bundle of arrows representing strength and readiness to defend the nation. Beneath the arrows, an olive branch symbolizes peace, reinforcing the country's balance between power and diplomacy. The phrase "E pluribus unum," out of many, one, appears between the eagle's wings, reminding citizens that the strength of the United States lies in its unity. These artistic and ideological details make the Washington quarter not only a circulating coin, but also a miniature work of symbolic art. Although the 1978 quarter is common in circulation today, its historical value lies in a connection to a period of significant change in U.S. coinage. By 1978, America had fully transitioned away from silver coinage, adapting to the copper-nickel-clad standard that persists today. The quarter remained a staple of everyday transactions, used in vending machines, parking meters, and toll booths across the country. The year 1978 also marked the tail end of a period of economic challenges in the U.S., including inflation and fluctuating metal prices, which influenced the mint's production efficiency and coin supply. Despite these economic pressures, the quality control and consistency of 1978 quarters were impressive compared to earlier years, thanks to improved minting technology and die maintenance. From a collector's standpoint, 1978 quarters are typically valued for their condition and any unusual minting varieties. In circulated grades, most examples hold face value 25 cents, but uncirculated coins with strong luster and no contact marks can range from $1 to $8, depending on the grading service and condition. Proof coin from the San Francisco Mint, struck on specially prepared planchets with polished dies, displays sharp, mirror-like finishes and deep cameo contrast, often valued between $5 and $15 or more when perfectly preserved. Mint errors on 1978 quarters are where true value can emerge, including off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, and clip planchets. For example, a 1978 quarter struck 10% off-center with a visible date can command $100 or more, while dramatic double die obverses or reverse die breaks can fetch even higher prices when certified by grading authorities like PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. The historical and cultural relevance of the 1978 Washington quarter extends beyond its metallic content. It represents the final phase of the classic eagle reverse before the 1980s modernized the U.S. mint production systems and introduced new series later on. Every 1978 quarter you find in circulation today has potentially passed through countless hands, vending machines, and generations, serving as a quiet witness to decades of American history. Its enduring design bridges the gap between traditional American coinage and modern commemorative issues. It's also worth noting that collectors often include 1978 as part of a typeset of copper-nickel-clad quarters, showcasing the final decades of the Flanagan design before the 1999 to 2008 state quarter program transformed U.S. coinage aesthetics. In essence, the 1978 United States of America E Pluribus Unum quarter dollar, Liberty, in God We Trust coin represents not just monetary value, but a tangible symbol of American continuity and pride. It carries the weight of historical artistry, the technical precision of 20th century minting, and the philosophical ideals that define the United States itself. Even though it is a common coin by mintage, it holds an uncommon story, one that connects past to present through the language of metal, art, and national identity. Whether admired for its design, studied for its mint varieties, or treasured for its historical significance, the 1978 quarter remains a small but powerful emblem of the American spirit, perseverance, and legacy that endures in every pocket change across the nation. The 1979 United States quarter dollar, commonly known as the 1979 Washington quarter, holds a significant place in American numismatic history, as part of the long-running Washington quarter series that began in 1932. This coin bears the inscription United States of America arching across the top on the reverse side, followed by the national motto E Pluribus Unum, Latin for out of many, one, symbolizing the unity of the states. The denomination quarter dollar appears prominently at the bottom. On the obverse front side, the portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, dominates the design. Sculpted by John Flanagan, this iconic image first appeared in 1932 to commemorate Washington's 200th birthday and has since become one of the most enduring coin portraits in U.S. history. Surrounding the bust are the inscriptions "Liberty" across the top and "In God We Trust" to the left, with the year 1979 centered below Washington's neck. Depending on the mint of origin, a small mint mark, P, D, or S, appears just behind Washington's hair ribbon on the obverse. In 1979, quarters were struck at three major U.S. mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark or P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 515 million pieces. The Denver Mint struck around 489 million, and the San Francisco Mint issued approximately 3.6 million proof coins, making it a highly common year for circulation strikes, but interesting for proof collectors. The composition of the 1979 Washington quarter was a standard copper-nickel clad, introduced in 1965 after silver was eliminated from circulating coinage due to rising silver prices. Each 1979 quarter consists of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, with a total weight of 5.67 grams and a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. The edge is reeded, consisting of 119 fine grooves, giving the coin both aesthetic appeal and tactile distinctiveness. The coin's metallic layers are formed with an inner core of pure copper and outer cladding of copper-nickel alloy, which give it a familiar silvery gray color. The design symbolism of the Washington quarter is rooted deeply in American patriotism and classical style. Washington's portrait represents the foundation of the Republic and the enduring respect for leadership and independence. The reverse depicts a bold eagle with outstretched wings, clutching a bundle of arrows symbolizing readiness of defense, while beneath it lies an olive branch, representing peace. Together, they embody the delicate balance between war and peace, strength under restraint. This design remained unchanged until 1998, when the 50-state quarters program began in 1999, replacing the eagle reverse with state-specific designs. Thus, the 1979 quarter stands as part of the final 2 decades of the classic eagle reverse era, linking the modern era to mid-century American coinage traditions. For collectors, the 1979 quarter may seem common in circulated condition, but certain varieties and mint errors make it highly collectible and valuable. Some examples include off-center strikes, clip planches, broad strikes, and die cracks, which can fetch premium prices depending on severity and eye appeal. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, especially those with deep cameo contrast, are sought after for their mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. Interestingly, some 1979S proof quarters can be distinguished by Type 1 and Type 2 mint mark varieties. Though more famous on the 1979S Susan B. Anthony dollar, subtle differences in the S mint mark can occasionally occur on other denominations from the same year, adding depth to collector interest. In terms of value, a 1979 quarter in circulated condition is generally worth only face value, 25 cents, while uncirculated examples can range from $1 to $10, depending on mint and grade. Proof quarters can fetch $5 to $15 or more, especially in pristine condition. However, rare mint errors can reach hundreds of dollars at auction, particularly if authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC. From a historical and economic perspective, the 1979 Washington quarter reflects America's transition from silver coinage to modern clad materials, paralleling shifts in technology, inflation, and minting efficiency. The late 1970s were a time of economic turbulence, with rising metal prices and inflation influencing both the minting process and public perception of coinage. The U.S. Mint's modernization efforts during this period improved die quality, minting speed, and consistency, making 1979 a high-output, high-efficiency year. These coins also circulated widely through the 1980s and 1990s, meaning that nearly every American handled one at some point in daily commerce. Today, finding a 1979 quarter in change still connects modern Americans to this period of economic and cultural change. Collectors appreciate the 1979 quarter not only for its classic design, but also for its role in the evolution of U.S. coinage. It marks a bridge between the silver-era heritage and the statehood commemorative age, embodying nearly half a century of Washington's symbolic presence on American money. While most 1979 quarters are not rare, their numismatic story, from patriotic symbolism and minting technology to economic history, makes them timeless artifacts of the late 20th century. In essence, the 1979 United States of America e pluribus unum quarter dollar, liberty, in God we trust, is more than just a piece of metal. It is a small but enduring reminder of the nation's ideals, resilience, and evolving identity through its currency.